What's up, guys? Olive Grummer here again with another One Piece manga review. We've got chapter 835 today, The Nation of Souls. Oh my god, this chapter, I thought the last chapter was good. This one, man, it was twice as good. I got the first video nerves out. I'm excited to talk about this one today. So, I still got notes too though, just so I don't forget anything. Basically, it starts off like in Chocolate Town, and I was looking around and I was just trying to observe it, and I noticed the dark like beings, right? And I was like, these look like shadows. So I kept that in my mind, and I'll come back to that later. But these people, like the citizens, are showing up and they're walking, and they're asked once every 6 months, life or leave. So I was just like, okay, I can only wonder what this question means. Sorry about fixing the camera mid-video. So basically, what it says is, or what it shows, excuse me, it shows that their souls are getting taken out when they say life. So I'm assuming that means they want to keep living in the place, in the island they're on. And it just cuts off right then. So back in the seducing woods, we have Luffy still trying to like get everyone together who's multiplying and stuff. And one character, it's Nami, is yelling exactly like how Nami is. And Luffy goes, she's talking like the original Nami. Oh, sorry, moving the papers. But basically she's like, oh, she's yelling at him, and he's like, she's talking like the original Nami. And I just thought that was hilarious, because he was terrified when that happened. And basically, funny thing is, Luffy was like, wait, you didn't multiply just for fun? Like, come on, Luffy is another type of stupid. He really is. But basically, like, so what happened was there was a flashback after that, and we finally got to see Nami's new weapon, which I was so excited about seeing. So we find out after she fights, oh goodness, I forgot the lady's name, but she looks like a witch, one of Big Mom's daughters, totally forgot her name. We find out in the flashback that she's a mirror person, like, we find out that after Pudding goes to punch her, she does reflection and then opens up like a mirror, and then her punch goes through the mirror and back out at Pudding and hits herself. I thought it was weird because, like, you think a reflection, they would just hit each other, kind of like how Luffy was punching and then he'd hit his fist and stuff like that. So I'm curious as to see if she can actually, like, control where the reflection comes out. So, like, let's say they punch this way, will the reflection come out the other, like, 2 inches to the right or left? So that way she can redirect the attack. And basically, like, Carrot ends up getting captured. We're not sure about anyone else at the moment, because we find out that everyone on the island, not everyone, every, like, living thing, will get explained later in a second. Every living thing was ordered to the island by Big Mom. So, obviously, Big Mom knows, for sure. Like, she completely knows that the Straw Hats are on the island. And there's no way you can deny it now. So while they're fighting, Chopper's turning into Rampage Chopper, Monster Chopper, and Nami admits, they really underestimated Big Mom's crew, which is not good at all. Like, that's just bad. So basically, like, after the flashback, the giant starts talking, and he's asking about apple juice, and he's like, please, I'm begging you. And then Luffy was like, I want to try it now too, being the person that eats the most in the crew. But basically he's saying, like, they start talking, and they're like, okay, so what's going on here? And we find out that each citizen has to pay a month's worth of their soul. So, like, every 6 months they lose a month from their lifespan, and then every year they lose 2 months. So every oh goodness, I think it's 6 years they lose a year, something like that. Yeah, every 6 years they lose a year. Quick math. Very basic math, not good at it. So basically we find out that Big Mom ate the soul fruit, which reminds me of my Gecko Moria theory. It reminds me of Gecko Moria, but it reminds me of my Thriller Bark repeat theory, where I believe that Kaido will end up showing up at Big Mom's island and either fighting Big Mom or Luffy or somebody. But the problem is, now that I think about it, it might not even be Kaido that shows up. It might be another Yonko or somebody, because my theory is that it's a repeat of Thriller Bark. So therefore, somebody will come, after the Yonko's taken out. Somebody will come maybe even stronger, similar to Kuma, and, discuss, defeat, something along those lines with the Straw Hats or whoever's there, So I feel like it's going to be a repeat of how Thriller Bark ended, with Kuma and stuff like that. And so basically we also find out that she can control the souls of people and then put them in the objects, the inanimate objects. But the only difference between the shadow fruit and the soul fruit is that you can't put them in living beings. So it's not like when Luffy got Nightmare Luffy, it's like it just doesn't work like that. So I was reading it and I realized that the giant must know Big Mom personally, because he keeps saying Lin Lin, instead of Big Mom, and then he always corrects himself. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I meant Big Mom. And it's like, he's probably scared, but he knows her on a personal level. But 2 seconds later, like a couple pictures later, we find out that, I was like, yep, he knows her. He is her ex-husband. And we're like, oh, I'm just like, oh my goodness, And we find out that he got left. She left him after he brought her 2 daughters, which is kind of funny because it should be like the other way around. The man's the one that wants the man, another son, and then he always leaves the woman, back in medieval times and stuff like that. But basically, we see the giant get pulled out by somebody even bigger, and I thought it was Luffy, but it wasn't, because it shows Luffy what's going on, And reading my notes here real quick. He gets pulled out by the 10th son, Cracker, and they mention with a face as big as his, we thought he was going to be a giant. Well, it turns out he wasn't a giant. He's just big head, small little legs like this. Really funny. And the funny thing is that the giant at this point talks about, I want to see Chiffon, basically Capone's wife. He's like, yeah, I want to see her. I heard she got married. I really want to congratulate her. And then he says something that shocks me. I didn't expect it. And he's like, oh, I heard Lolo ran away. I was just like, oh my goodness, he knows about that too. So what I'm thinking is Lola must be one of the 2 daughters that he brought to Big Mom, and that's why Big Mom was like, no, I don't want you anymore, I think he's one of her daughters, or his daughter, because he says she's very dear to me, and that's why I'm like, okay, I think that it has to be one of the daughters. So I'm not quite sure on that one. That sums it up. I know, let me see what else I forget. I didn't mention that all the trees and stuff like that are called homies, and the black shadows, sorry, that's what I'm forgetting. The black shadows are actually parts of Big Mom's soul herself. So it's her fruit is unbelievable, Even Nami says something about it. She's like, what a weird fruit, that's ridiculous. So her fruit's overpowered, but I feel like there's an easy way to defeat it, just kind of like Moria, with the salt water. I think what if you could put salt water in the tree's fruits or something like that, something crazy. I feel like there's a simple defeat to it, but figuring it out is the tough one. Oops, sorry about that. So basically, I'm thinking it's going to be an easy, simple defeat, but probably not. Nobody's going to know how to do it first. Anyways, if you like the video, have any thoughts, theories, comment below. Link for my Twitch and Twitter will be below as well, or probably just the @names. I'm not quite sure yet. I will be doing a anime review on this weekend's video, because last weekend wasn't the best. It was just kind of like a review, and you got barely introduced to Zoe, so I don't think it was worth making a video over. But I'll definitely be doing a review video on that. I'll be playing some more Burning Blood, and hopefully we'll be able to put my streams on YouTube if Twitch wants to cooperate. And what else do I have? I'll be playing One Piece Treasure Cruise soon too, once I get a desktop and get everything situated there. So definitely like, comment, subscribe, get everything done. Help me build this channel, because this is going to be awesome. I have so many great ideas for you guys, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.